بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في كتاب العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا صدق الله العظيم وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث من تواضع لله رفعه الله أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brothers, elders, and those who are listening, we know that one of the most important things as Muslims, is that we have a responsibility to not only show unity, but within the recesses of our hearts, to make efforts in maintaining unity. We know that one of the efforts of the Prophet ﷺ was that he stressed the importance of unity, and that Muslims at all times, they should be united. And there's wisdom behind that. Because when Muslims were united, we see that throughout history, they were successful in whatever they did. Whatever efforts they made, they were successful. The Prophet ﷺ disliked, rather, it is considered haram. It is considered haram to show any kind of disunity based on color, based on language, based on the country that we come from, based on our social status, based on our wealth. All of these things are reprehensible and considered as haram. If a person looks at someone with this demeanor, that I am better than this person, thus I cannot be associated with him, I cannot be linked with him, I cannot unite with him, right? Because of who he is and where he is from, then this is reprehensible. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a person that brought people from all cultures. This is what the Prophet ﷺ did, that he brought people from all cultures and he welcomed them. Bilal was from Habasha. Rasulullah ﷺ didn't look at his skin color. He looked past his skin color. Suhaib, he was from Rome. Rumi, they called him Suhaib Rumi, radiyallahu anh, a Sahabi, the one who led the janaza of Umar bin Khattab. Salman al-Farsi, where was he from? He was from Faris, he was from Persia. So the Prophet ﷺ welcomed people from different cultures and stressed the importance of unity. Once, Rasulullah ﷺ was in an expedition where an argument arose between a Muhajir Sahabi and an Ansari Sahabi. So you have the Muhajirin, they are those who migrated from Makkah to Medina. And then you had the Ansar, who displayed amazing service to the Muhajirin. Amazing service. So much so that they were ready to literally give the clothing off of their backs to the Muhajirin. Because the Muhajirin, they came with nothing. They came with absolutely nothing. But the Sahaba, they were human beings after all. And what had happened was that there was an argument. It arose between a Muhajir and an Ansari. And the commotion, it reached the Prophet ﷺ. And Rasulullah ﷺ rushed towards the place where this commotion had arose. And it got to the point where the Muhajir, he's calling to his own group, "O Muhajirin, come to my aid." The Ansari is saying, "O Ansar, come to my aid." The Prophet ﷺ, he was upset. When he heard this, he was upset. He said that, "What is this? What is this? What is this jahili customs that you guys are holding on to? What are these jahili customs, these ignorant customs that you are holding on to? Da'uha, leave them. فَإِنَّهَا مُنْتِنَةٌ. فَإِنَّهَا مُنْتِنَةٌ. They have a stench to them. They have a stench to them." Rasulullah ﷺ found it reprehensible, considered it as completely something that should not, as Muslims, we shouldn't even be near such a thing, where people are calling to their respective groups. My group is better than yours, right? And both the Muhajirin and Ansar, they have a distinction. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the Muhajirin and the Ansar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of them in the highest of terms. The Muhajirin because of their sacrifices. The Ansar because of the khidmah and service they displayed when the Muhajirin came with nothing but the clothing on their backs from Makkah to Medina. It's amazing when you think about it. So this unity was something that Rasulullah ﷺ advocated from the beginning. And when you think about it, it is astonishing that within 23 years, people that were not even paying attention to the inhabitants of Arabia, the people of Arabia, the population of Arabia, now they're paying attention. So these people who were scattered once upon a time, Rasulullah, they were ragtag group of clans, tribes. Rasulullah brought them together. In those days, it was all about tribal affiliation. They didn't look at, the person's akhlaq. They didn't look at the person's service. They looked at a person, and a person was judged based on his tribal affiliations, his clan. Who was his clan? What are his tribal affiliations? Literally, a person can get away with crime if he was linked with a powerful tribe. They could get away with crime. And people were defined based on their lineage and based on their tribal affiliations. Rasulullah ﷺ removed all of this. The Prophet ﷺ removed all of this. That no, this is not the way. If we have this in our minds, then this will lead to disunity. This will lead to disunity. The Muslims, they need to realize that we need to look past tribal affiliations. We need to look past who you're linked with, who you know. We need to look past that. Doesn't matter who you know. Doesn't matter what kind of standing you have in society. The only thing that matters is that you're a Muslim. That is the only thing that matters. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if Bilal radiallahu anhu was from Habsha. No, he's going to give adhan. Bilal radiallahu anhu is going to give adhan. And giving the adhan, this is a very prestigious rank. Giving adhan in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a very prestigious rank. Imagine, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked past the color, looked past where he was from, gave that honor to Bilal radiallahu anhu. Suhaib, he was from Rome. Suhaib the Roman. Umar radiallahu anhu didn't look at Uthman radiallahu anhu and Ali radiallahu anhu and those from the Quraysh. When he was on his deathbed, he wanted Suhaib Rumi to lead his janazah. Why? Because Suhaib Rumi has that distinction. Suhaib Rumi has that distinction. He looked past all of these superficial things. He looked at the virtue. Not that the virtue of Uthman radiallahu anhu and Ali radiallahu anhu was less. But this was the innate desire of Umar radiallahu anhu that his janazah should be led by Suhaib Rumi. But the point is that this was not an individual who is from a prestigious tribe. Umar radiallahu anhu looked at this person's virtue. He looked at this person's contributions. And this is what led him to desire that my janazah be led by Suhaib Rumi. Salman Farsi, he was from Faris. His story is that his entire life was spent in the search for haqq, in the search for the truth. And what happened? When the time came to defend Medina from the Confederates, from the different tribes, it was Salman radiallahu anhu who gave the suggestion that, Ya Rasulullah, when we were outnumbered, this is what we did, we dug a trench. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked past that this person, how can I trust him? He's not from us, he's not a muhajir, he's not even Ansari, he's an outsider. He looked past all of that. He looked at this person's virtue and his contributions and his Islam. This is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept these people united. That he brought them on one platform. That all of you are on one platform. Your Islam makes you all equal. Your Islam makes you equal. There is no distinction based on language, based on color, based on the country you're from. No distinction. The only thing that matters is what? That you are Muslim. And only Allah knows. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows which one is the most honored amongst you. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. It's based on taqwa. The standard for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not our color. It is not our language. It is not the country we're from. It is not the country that we are born in. The standard for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has always been taqwa. It has always been that, is this person God conscious? Then you are the most honored in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you are the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, your money, the car that you drive, the country that you were born in, the language that you speak, your social standing in the community, your looks, all of these things matter not to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has no need for these things. Allah has no need for these things. What matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our relationship with Him. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he set that standard for the Sahaba. He set this standard for the Sahaba, that this is how you keep united. You look past all of these things, these superficial things, and you will be united. Automatically you will be united. And if you can look past them, then you will succeed. How else was it possible for the Sahaba within 30 years after Rasulullah SAW departed from this world, how else was it possible for them to conquer Africa all the way to the Atlantic? How was it possible for them, for Islam to reach all the way China in a short time? When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the responsibility to disseminate the message, to spread the message of Islam, nobody even paid attention to the Arabs. No one cared about them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, within 23 years, he made them such a group that they went to different places and people wanted to be like them. There were two strong superpowers at that time. You had the Persian Empire and you had the Byzantine Empire. Both of these empires, they crumbled under the Muslims. These were superpowers of that time. That's like me saying that the superpowers of this time, within 10, 20 years, right? China, Russia, United States, Madagascar is going to take over. That's like me saying something like that. Something absurd. That's how it was. This is how it was in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. That nobody could even imagine the Muslims ultimately influencing all of these regions. And not only that, these people who were influenced and who came into Islam, they remained Muslim. Why? Why did they remain Muslim? This is because of that power, the power of Islam. It has that consistency. Islam has that consistency. That once a person tastes Islam, the reality of Islam, it will stay with that person no matter what. That person is not going to come out of the fold of Islam because he's tasted the reality of Islam. He's tasted what Islam is all about. He has tasted the Quran. He has recognized Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has recognized the sacrifices of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So why would such a person want to give up Islam? Never. So it never happened. Where people, they gave up Islam. They understood that this is the deen of haqq. It is a deen of mercy. It is a deen that if we hold on to it, we will be successful in this world and we will be successful in the hereafter. But the important thing is that there has to be unity amongst the Muslims. If there is no unity, Islam will not succeed. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophesied this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prophesied this. That yushikun, the hadith goes that yushikun nas an tada'a ilaykum. That a time will come, that a time will come where people, they will call towards you. They will call towards you. And they will call towards you and they will take from you. They will eat you. They will consume you. So the Sahaba, they asked the Prophet ﷺ the obvious question, Ya Rasulullah, what is the reasoning behind this? What is the reasoning behind this? أَمِنْ قِلَّةٍ نَحْنُ يَوْمَئِذٍ? Is it because we are going to be few in number? Is it because we are going to be few in number? The Prophet ﷺ, no. It's not because you're going to be few in number. You're going to be a lot. Islam is the biggest religion. It is the most adhered to religion right now. Islam has the biggest population, more than Christianity, more than any other religion. We're the most. The Prophet ﷺ said that no, it's not because you're going to be a few, that you're going to be few in number. You're going to be many. You're going to be a lot. But what is going to hold you back? حُبُّ الدُّنْيَا وَكَرَاهِيَةُ الْمَوْتِ. What is going to hold you back is love for the dunya. That you will hold on. You will hold on to status. You will hold on to superficial things, that I'm better than this person based on my color, based on where I'm from, based on the language that I speak, based on these superficial things that have absolutely zero value in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And this is what's going to hold you back. وَكَرَاهِيَةُ الْمَوْتِ. And you're going to hate death. You're going to make dunya your abode because you're going to be fascinated. You're going to be inclined towards these nonsensical things that have no value. And we see today We're Muslims throughout the world because of their disunity. We see that these non-Muslims, they're consuming us, whether it is in Gaza, Palestine, Myanmar, India. You see all of these things where Muslims are being consumed. Muslims are downtrodden. Right? They have absolutely no value, right? Because Muslims are not united. Right? Muslims are not united. They think that, oh, I'm part of this group, so I cannot unite with such and such person. I am part of this group, so I can't unite with such and such person. Oh, I follow the Hanafi madhab, so anybody who follows other than the Hanafi madhab, that's it. I can't associate with such an individual. So we make these superficial groups, that my group is different. The way that I have been raised and the way that I have been brought up and the group that I'm part of, that's all that matters. I cannot unite with someone who is part of a different group and who has a different opinion, who holds a different opinion. The thing that binds us together is the kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. This is what binds us. This is what unites us. And that is the only thing that matters. That the kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, it binds us, it unites us. If we keep this in mind, right, in all facets of our life, we will see success. In our homes, in our communities, and in the world, we will see success. And one of the issues that Muslims have that causes disunity is ego. It is ego. That I can't be with a person, I can't unite with someone because of ego. So you have communities break down, marriages fail because there's ego on both sides. Right? Nobody wants to bow their heads. So marriages, they end in divorce. Right? Husband and wife, they separate. Disunity. And we see this in all our Muslim communities, where people, they have this sense of that I can't be with such and such person or such and such group because ego. And the Sahaba, they were completely opposite. They didn't have ego. Two qualities the Sahaba had, amongst other qualities. Ithar and tawadu. They gave preference to other people over themselves. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about this quality in the Quran. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. That they give preference to others over themselves, even though they had to endure hardship. They always gave preference to other people over themselves. And tawadu. They had humbleness, humility. They were always humble. They had that quality of humility. Even Umar radiallahu anhu, we know him to be very strict and stern. And you would think that once he became Khalif, that he was going to remain strict and firm. Right? But what happened when he became Khalif? He became a very soft person. And it is said about him, كَانَ وَقَّافًا عِنْدَ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. That when it came to the book of Allah, if somebody quoted the Quran to him, كَانَ وَقَّافًا, he stopped himself. This was Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. He was very humble. He was a very humble person. So these are two qualities that we need. Ithar and tawadu. Giving priority to other people over our own happiness. Rasulullah was recognized because of this. In his community, when he was in Makkah, when he received prophethood, he was recognized by giving preference to others over himself. Khadija radiallahu anha recognized this quality of the Prophet ﷺ, that look at what you do, you help others. You sacrifice yourself for others. This is what you've been doing your entire life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to make you dhaleel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not waste you. La yukhzika Allahu abadan. You're a good person. And tawadu. The Prophet ﷺ was the epitome of humility. So if we have and if we imbibe these two qualities, wallahi, we will see success in our homes, we will see success in our communities, in our masajid, and we will see success throughout the world if Muslims have these two qualities and they become united. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. Alhamdulillah.